was only 21 when I was hit by a car leaving a bar, but I'm still here. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and welcome back to a mental health break. This week, we will take a break from the interview style show for me to check in with you as I celebrate 12 years of being alive since the night that changed it all. I'm going to reflect on my journey of recovery, share some insight with you all, and touch on everything in between. I'd like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for supporting me on my journey. This show came out a little over 5 years ago in an effort to keep sharing my story, connecting with amazing mental health advocates like you, and help share the stories of others to let you know you are not alone. I'll take you back when this happened, January 19th, 2013. I went out for a dinner, celebrate a friend's birthday. On my walk home, which was January 20th, I was hit by a car leaving a bar. That resulted in me waking up about a week later out of a coma, not knowing my name when the nurse had asked me, and it started this uphill battle of relearning to walk and talk, spell my name, complete daily life activities, you name it. Something inside of me said, hey, Vince, don't give up. Just keep pushing. The motivating fuel behind this experience came from when my parents got a call up in New York. I was in Florida. The police officer said something along the lines of, if your son is Vincent Lanci, you need to get to Florida immediately. He may not make it through the night. Now 2013, this is before Uber and Lyfts, before Zelle and these easy banking apps. They had to piece together money overnight, get the first flight to Florida, where it was Fort Lauderdale. There was no direct flights from Tampa. They had to call Tampa General Hospital to make sure I was still breathing before they boarded that connecting flight to Tampa. This motivates me then, now, forever, and I keep it inside myself to keep making the most of each day, remembering my story, like yours, is bigger than ourselves. And we have a lot of people in our corner, whether we keep in touch with them or not. You are not fighting your battle alone. One of the biggest turning points for me to get out of denial that something happened by someone I never met, by no fault of my own, but life unfortunately works that way sometimes. I had to ask for help. You can't do it on your own. Everyone, whether it's a mentor, support circle, family, friend, even stranger on a walk, on a bus, at an event, your story can impact others. You can resonate with others and their stories if you're willing to share your story. So everyone, please go out there, make the most of each day. We all go through different things, different traumas, different emotional and physical impacts, pain, fear, confusion. We're going to be told a lot of expectations in life, but I want to challenge you and let you remember expectations are just that, what people expect. If you give yourself the best efforts each day, you can expect to shatter those expectations. For me, it was 24/7 care the rest of my life. Maybe never going back to school. You name it. I had to dedicate myself to rewiring my brain. I was a student, and you may have heard me share this, could read over a study sheet for an hour or two and go ahead and get a great grade. I then had to be a student who read, write, typed, listened. Read, write, typed, listened. Read, write, typed, listened again and again just to retain a short amount of what I could have before. Sit and soul cry, why me, or turn something terrible into something a little brighter, because your story, again, is bigger than you. You let somebody else, in this case, the driver of the car who left a bar, who sent text messages after leaving the bar. Let them win. If I just sit and sulk, why me? You may or may not know this person never saw a day in jail. The Florida judicial system is not, unfortunately, the best in some cases. Not only did he have no insurance, right? This insurance of that could have helped my family and I. I'm not a extremely wealthy person who grew up with trust funds, this and that. My parents had to make ends meet the best they can. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of hospital bills. And my mom took a whole month off work, almost a whole month of me being in the hospital to help me recover in rehab. Family and friends visiting me that I may never remember. It may never come back to me because of the traumatic brain injury. An absolute nightmare was recovering from a rod being put in my leg. But the traumatic brain injury was, above all, the hardest for myself, my family, not being able to separate dreams from reality. Again, having to rewire this brain in a new study formations. But I went back and got my MBA, finished my finance degree before then by giving myself new routines, new dedication, and working with the situation I was dealt, doing the best I can. In the beginning, Vince, you're going to see this therapist, that therapist. You name the type of therapist. I went there. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, all of these things. Being given medication for all of these things that may or may not happen. Over time, I had to wean myself off all of this medication because I found myself sitting in a bubble, not thinking clearly. I also recognized if I stay on these dependencies too long, I may be stuck on them forever. And while medication is what some people need, make sure you're taking it with the professional guidance. Of course, I am not a mental health professional. Please seek mental health professional advice. But while medication helps a lot of people, it was not the best for me. I found things like therapy that helped me immensely, but then COVID came. My therapist went into private practice, a substantial amount of money that I can no longer afford. If there's any medical or healthcare professionals that have the power to help solve this terrible life that people who need medication face with the incredible amount of money you have to pay with or even without insurance, it's heartbreaking. Please make a difference on your end. Let me know how I can help, because the invisible aspects, my face had no longer scabbed or blood or bruising on it, so people thought I was all right. They assumed that this invisible traumatic brain injury was over with. I needed to adapt exercise. I was always into healthy exercising ever since training for sports as a student. But now, before my day starts, that mental health boost I get from not just the physical benefits, but just thinking clearly. If I don't exercise, then that can look like a walk, some ab exercises, going to the gym. I don't think clearly. Maybe you can relate. Please share a comment, email me, info@vincentalanci.com if any of this is resonating. With the support groups is where I started speaking. First, I realized that my story is bigger than me. It helped bring us here today on a mental health break. I first wrote Left for Dead, a story of redemption. Then I launched a mental health break to keep sharing my story with no budget, just the urge to keep making a difference and improving my life, improving the life of those around me a little more. Because I know in the beginning, it wasn't easy to be around a traumatic brain injury survivor, but I can't thank everyone who's still with me today and who was with me then and now. Time goes on, I know we get busy, but please reconnect with me. I'm grateful to be healthy, or as healthy as I will be. A great family and friends. Coming Alive podcast production continuing to grow up to 16 team members. I hope everyone has gotten value out of not just my shows, but my clients' shows as well. You can always find what I'm up to at vincentalanci.com. You can also go to www.comingalivepodcastproduction.com, and under the Client Love tab, check out all of the clients we got, the team we're working with. There's value from a lot of different angles. All of them are some kind of self-improvement in their own way. Thank you for your support here, and thank you for your support there. The insight, the knowledge, I gain more and more. It's 12 years, but it feels like 50. I promise that. Just Again, I mentioned before, asking questions, seeking help, can't do it on my own. Leaps and bounds in my personal life, my company, where I've got my advisory board. I'll give a big shout out to Carlos and Shane, Brent, Trent, and Rod, who was my first mentor in graduate school. You've each given me the strength and increased my resilience, my empathy, gratitude, just continued this newfound appreciation for life where I may not be a target podcast, speaker, author for everyone. You can't please everyone. The only way you can do that is by being an ice cream man, hoping to encourage self-compassion. The importance of seeking support. Again, this power of resilience. Some practical tips I want to give you to navigate some challenges that may work for you, but they sure have worked for me. In addition to asking for help, planning out each day the night before. I time block. Restricting your activity to a certain time actually helps me succeed way more than by just saying, hey, I'll get it done today, leaving so much time to do it. I don't succeed that way. I time block before each night of bed. Give yourself 2 weeks of that. It will become a habit. You won't even recognize your growth. Keeping the podcasts going, they motivate me. And over 5 years of weekly shows, it's a lot of doing something similar every day, but you need to be consistent. No matter what you do in life, show up, be consistent. The only place I may not be as consistent is social media every day. Some weeks we do, but that's not my brand of being on social every day. It's to be present in life. Another challenge, real quick. If you could spend an hour on social media, please be spending an hour on your personal hobbies, your entrepreneurial endeavors, something. If you're scrolling for 2 hours, please dedicate 2 hours in your day for your own personal gains and goods and making a difference in your own way. Compound that over a week, a month, a quarter. Oh my gosh, you will not realize how much work and satisfaction you'll achieve. This experience today is heartwarming. I'm talking a little fast because there's a lot of emotions and feelings with me today, but I'm going to continue advocating for brain injury awareness, continue advocating for entrepreneurship. A couple quick shout outs to some big superstars in my life. Tampa General Hospital, and of course the TGH PFAC. The Loth Center for Entrepreneurship. All of my family, friends, supporters near and far, thank you for all you do by showing up for yourself each day. Tuning into this podcast is a step in the direction to getting mentally healthy each and every day. No one is perfect. We are all works in progress, but if you take the small steps needed and be consistent, maybe a little exercise, therapy, support groups, medication, you name it, there's tons and tons of resources out there. A message of hope and encouragement for you is how I started the show. I was left for dead in the middle of the road, in the middle of the night, where if one more car drove by the street and hit me, undoubtedly speaking, I would not be here today. Thank you once more for supporting my journey. And with that, I am signing off here today.